Everybody, if you can hear me, this is a court of law, so you need to remove your hats. No smoking, no drinking, no eating.
We are on the record in 2023, TR 3656, State of Kansas versus Cheyenne Bini. Jared Regier appearing for the state, Ms. Bini appearing in person and pro se. Ms. Bini, you're charged with one count of operating a motor vehicle without proof of liability insurance. You failed to appear February 21st, 24 for your first appearance. You showed up May 22nd, 24 and said you wanted to apply for diversion. So we set the matter over for today. Did you apply for diversion?
Yes.
And did you get accepted?
Not yet.
Well, I don't know when did you apply?
Recently.
Like yesterday?
Yeah.
And Your Honor, at the risk of sounding like a broken record, I do not have any notes in my file to suggest that a diversion application has been received by my office. It would appear at the previous hearing where at least the prospective issue was discussed, that hearing took place in the latter part of May of this year.
Well, 3 months ago, May 22nd, 2024, I would have told you, don't delay, file it by the end of the week, ideally. And I wouldn't expect Mr. Regier to have a diversion application in his file that just showed up yesterday. What took you so long to take care of that?
I forgot.
You forgot. You know, when people forget, they could go to jail. How old are you?
I'm 18.
Okay, you could go to the county jail. If you're going to take on the adult activity of driving, especially now that you are an adult, you're held to certain standards. And when people don't do what the law says, they come to court. If they don't do what the judge says, they can go to jail. I could find you in contempt of court. And I could fine you and put you in jail for a while. But you're not the first time I've had this issue with, so and you were upfront and candid that you forgot. It's troublesome that going to court and having a criminal charge, a Class B misdemeanor crime, and driving without insurance, where if you hit someone, they could be injured and you wouldn't have any money to cover yourself or them. It's troublesome that all of that serious stuff going on in your life, you forgot it. What are you doing in life that's so much more pressing?
Well, we were moving.
Moving.
And so I was like, I kept trying. I knew that you told me to do something, but I couldn't remember until like last minute.
Well, if you didn't want to apply for diversion, that's your business. But if you tell me you're going to do it and then you forget that you even have anything to do, then I get a little concerned that you're not taking this seriously. Do you have a parent with you?
Yeah, she's in this doorway.
Did she forget too? She your mom?
Yes.
She forgot to.
I did forget to. I couldn't remember what we were supposed to do. Cheyenne's the one that actually
All right.
defined and remembered.
All right, I'm not hearing you on the records. So what do you want me to do? Since you didn't apply for diversion on time, what do you want to do? You want to go to trial? Do you want to plead guilty? Do you want to plead no contest? You want more time to okay, now your mom needs to stop talking unless she's your lawyer. You need to talk. This is your case. You were the one driving without insurance. What do you want to do?
What are my options again?
Your options are the same options that you had when you saw me in May. You can plead not guilty and set this for trial. We should have had your trial by now if you weren't going to divert. You can plead not guilty and set it for trial. You can plead guilty, admitting it, and we can proceed with your sentencing. The minimum fine is $300 up to $1,000 plus court costs of $108. There's also a possible jail time up to 6 months. You can plead no contest, which is not admitting the charge, but not denying it. You'd still most likely be found guilty, and we'd proceed with your sentencing today. You have the right to an attorney, as I also told you. Back there on May 22nd, you can apply for an attorney if you cannot afford one. They're not necessarily free, but if you pay anything back, it'll be based on your ability to pay, if any. You could ask for more time for the diversion, but to continue the diversion, but that would depend on whether the county attorney still wants to let you do it, even though you're past their guidelines.
May I ask for more time for the diversion?
Well, you can ask me to set this over and give you more time, but then you're still going to have to go to the county attorney and ask them if they would consider it this late in the game. And I shouldn't say game, that's the inappropriate term, but in the process. So you forgot your first court date, February 21st, and didn't come. You forgot to apply for diversion, but you did remember to come to court today. That's a plus. And now you think if I give you one more court setting, you'll remember to take care of the diversion?
Yeah, we took care of it.
No, you may have turned in the application. That would be the first step. The county attorney says he doesn't have it, but you didn't turn it in until yesterday.
I have the receipt on my phone.
All right, but you still have to be approved. They have to send you a contract. You have to send the contract back with the diversion fee. So no, you've not taken care of it. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, the court reporter doesn't pick up on head shakes. Are you going to school this fall or working, or what are you doing?
I'm going to school.
What school? Well, strike that. All right, Mr. Regier, what's the state's position on giving her a continuance of this hearing?
Your Honor, if the court is going to determine that another continuance in this matter is appropriate, again, in light of the prior statements on the record, the state would have it noted for the record that the state will be objecting to any additional continuances if this matter does get set over. The state would also be requesting clarification from the court as to whether the bond is being continued in this matter. What I would also note for purposes of the record that the state is eager to reach a resolution in this matter one way or the other.
The bond is $1,000 posted February 29th by Second Chance Bail Bonds. All right. Ms. Berzini, I sometimes get a little more stern with young people because if you're already starting out this early in life with a Class B misdemeanor as a charge, and if there's a basis to that, what's going to happen in the rest of your life if you're just forgetting things, not taking them seriously? Are you going to be able to get through life without just racking up one problem after another? So I don't know why you and your mom have forgotten your court date, why you've forgotten to apply for diversion, but I would urge you both to try to figure out what's going on with your attention factors and try to see if you can avoid these kinds of problems in the future. Diversion will give you a chance to say, okay, I made a bad choice. I drove without insurance. I'll correct what I can and put it behind you. But if you're not careful and you keep going through life like this, it's only going to get one problem worse after the other. But hopefully this will be the end of it, and you'll learn from it and remember from it. And if you're diverted, if you do everything you have to on the diversion, you don't have to come see me again. And I'm sure that that would be a good idea for you, that you would like that. So let's set this over. Destiny, when is her court date?
November 6th, Judge.
Now, don't forget, November 6th at 9 a.m.
I got her court date right here.
Thank you, Deputy. But again, follow through on that diversion. Make sure, call them in a week or two, make sure they got it. Then make sure you get the contract, if you're approved, make sure you get that contract signed and sent back to them right away. Don't wait till the night before court to think about this again. Any questions? All right, thank you. Mr. Regier, anything further from the state?
Your Honor, the state would again request clarification as to whether or not the bond is being continued in this matter.
The bond will be continued as long as she appears or is diverted and told by the county attorney she doesn't need to appear next hearing.
Very good, Your Honor.
All right. Nothing further than Ms. Berzini, you are excused. .com. Now, William Phillips, did the officer tell you not to smoke?
It's kind of hard to hear around here. I'm out of town on a construction site, and I'm the lead. So,
Well, sir, you're supposed to be in court.
okay, I'm sorry, ma'am.
So you better make sure you can hear. We're gonna have a real problem if I call your name and you can't hear. We're gonna have a real problem if you break rules and procedures.
Yep. Okay. Go. Will you hand me my screen box? Now go. Preach.
Judge.
All right, where's that gentleman, Mr. Phillips? What happened to you? All right, let's get you back to work. We are on the record in 2024 TR 1376, State of Kansas versus William Wayne Phillips with Jared Regier for the state. Mr. Phillips, in count one, you're accused of speeding 86 in a 65 mile per hour zone. That is a traffic infraction, no jail time, but a fine. And then count two, driving while your license was canceled, suspended, or revoked. That is a B misdemeanor normally, but the county attorney on August 1st of 2024 filed an amended information alleging that not only were you driving while suspended on May 21st of 24, but that you did have a prior driving while suspended conviction from August 23 in Wichita Municipal Court. That prior elevates this from a B to an A non-person misdemeanor. It increases the fine from $1,000 to $2,500 maximum, and it requires a minimum must serve 5 days in jail up to 1 year in jail. With that minimum mandatory jail time, are you going to be hiring an attorney, sir?
With that, my license has been suspended due to being out of state, and it's no longer suspended out there. Like, I've been going back and forth with California for 3 years over this, and it's no longer suspended. And all I have to do is go get my license here, what I've been told from.
All right, well, they go by what the status was when you were driving. And I think if you had an attorney, he'd probably say, stop talking and wait to talk to him before you make any more statements. But you can waive your right to an attorney and represent yourself. You've heard me tell people all morning that you can hire an attorney if you cannot afford an attorney. You can apply and see if you qualify for court appointed. But now you told me you were the supervisor of a company there, so I'm not sure that you'd qualify, but you can always apply. You could waive your right though and represent yourself, and we can either set this for trial or give you some time to talk to an attorney. What would you like to do?
In the beginning, you said something about obtaining a license, though, because this is just the
you're
first.
thinking about, okay, you're thinking about when I was talking to the group probably about diversion. If you get your license, you can maybe qualify for diversion. I'm not sure you'd be successful. You can always check, but it looks like with your speed, you're probably outside their guidelines. I think I saw something to suggest that. Maybe not. Yeah, I think you're outside the speeding guidelines, and I don't think they divert on second time driving while suspended. But again, I'm not the one that decides that. It's not even my program. It's strictly up to the county attorney. You can always look and see if you'd qualify, but from my years in this business, I have a hunch you're not eligible.
Well, if I need an attorney, I'm not going to get one from you guys. That's most definitely.
All right. Well,
You
our
know what I mean?
taxpayers will appreciate that. Okay, so you're gonna hire an attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'll make a note that you're hiring an attorney. And let's put this on a Monday.
Yes, Judge, that'll be October 28th.
Can it be scheduled after that? I won't be back into this area for the next like 2 or 3 months. So
Now, I'm not gonna put it off 2 or 3 months, but I can move it up. Do you want to try to do it before you leave? When are you leaving?
I'm already gone. That's the
you're
thing.
already gone?
Yeah. So I mean,
Where are you, in California?
no, I'm in Independence, Kansas.
Well, that's not that far.
It is when I have to work. I mean, the only reason why I've been driving back and forth with no license is because I have to feed a family. You know what I mean? So
I understand what you mean.
and that's not an excuse. That's a reason. So
All right, give me that date again.
Farther out than October 28th,
I
Judge?
don't want to do
Okay.
that. Now, how long are you going to be in Kansas, though?
how long am I going to be in Kansas?
Right. Are you leaving state for any reason with your work?
No, I won't be back around El Dorado for like 3 months.
Okay. All right, sir, I'm detecting a bit of an attitude, and I've had a bit of problem with you all day long. I'd suggest you kind of take a deep breath and try to get rid of the attitude, because then if you don't, you may cause me to have to get an attitude too. So,
Well, likewise, take that deep breath. Do the same thing. You know what I mean?
excuse me?
I said same. Do the same thing. Take that deep breath. Goose fraba.
All right, Mr. Phillips, do you know what my title is?
I do, but that doesn't give you the right to belittle me or anybody else in your court. You
All right,
have a code of conduct.
okay,
you have to follow.
I am finding your conduct contemptuous because you're interfering and disrespecting the process and the court. You are hereby fined for direct contempt of court, $100 cash payable in 1 week to the clerk of the district court.
That's fine.
And if I have any more problem with you, it's going to go up a little bit more. And if I have any more problem with you, you can go to jail over it. You don't seem to be respecting or appreciating this court. You've drunk. I can't remember if I saw you smoking. You've eaten since this hearing started. You've rolled your eyes. You have just been totally inappropriate. You've complained that you can't be here when I tell you to, that it's inconvenient because you're maybe a couple hours away. Some of these people are in other states. I had someone from Australia on the docket here recently. So don't tell me.
But that's not this case. That's not this case. This is my case, not their case.
Yes, it is. And that's
No,
$200 for contempt. You better get a clue who's in charge here and why you're here. It's because you were allegedly violating the law. I didn't go out and find you, and you are not to respect to any court or disrespect to any court that way. $200, Mr. Phillips, due in court Monday, or you can serve 3 days in jail if it's not paid by 1 week from today.
1 week from today.
This is my final order on the subject. $200 to the clerk of the district court 1 week from today. And if it's not paid.
So is it Monday or is it 1 week from today, which would be Wednesday? Because you're going off of business days, correct?
It's like that. You just stare down on them, let the eyes do the work. Your mouth might be saying, hey, we cool, but your eyes are like, no, we not. Nice to meet you. No, it's not.
Good morning, screen.
You're ordered to be in court, in the courthouse, August 21st, 2024, 9 a.m. You are to be in El Dorado, Kansas, at 201 West Pine, the Butler County Judicial Center, August 21st, 2024 at 9 a.m.
So you're making me appear under duress and coercion and threats of incarceration, pretty much. I'm just trying to understand this, because before you were willing to do it, and then you said I had a disrespectful attitude, but I've been listening to you, ma'am, all day, just drilling everybody. You know, I'm a supervisor on a construction crew, and I don't even drill my guys like that or their family members. I know this is being recorded, so I would like a copy of this, because I'm going to take this to an attorney.
You are to be here in person at the Butler County Judicial Center, 201 West Pine, El Dorado, Kansas, 9 a.m., August 21, 2024. I have found you in direct contempt of court for your attitude, your comments, your disrespect, your delay of the proceedings, because I'm having to take extra time away from others to deal with this arrogance and the eating and the drinking and so forth. And you owe the court
I don't owe you nothing. I owe the court and the state of Kansas. See, that's your problem. You're taking your own personality into your law, and that's not appropriate. That is not appropriate. You were talking to some lady about her mother forgetting and then grilled her about her forgetting. That's not her mother's position.
$500 cash.
Can we hurry up and get this over with?
$500 cash for direct court.
That's fine.
$500 cash for direct court. And I am ordering you to surrender yourself by 2:30 today to the Butler County District Court. 2:30 today.
I cannot do that.
Well, then
you're making me
send a sheriff out to get you.
Because you're putting your personality in this, man. I'm going to hire an attorney. I am going to get off this Zoom, and I want this sent to my email. I know your deputy is listening, and I demand this footage, because I'm going to take this and I'm going to appeal all of this. You have been delaying the court the whole time.
All right, I've given you my order. Disconnect him from the call. He better be here, or the sheriff will go out.
I will not be there.
All right, the sheriff
will under threat of
what is your address? Where are you located?
Threat of imprisonment.
Mr. Phillips, where are you located?
Not here.
You refuse to tell me your address and your location?
That is under threat and incarceration. I want my attorney present.
What company do you work for? It
is none of your business. You will be informed through my attorney. My attorney, yes. I need you to state your name for me.
So you refuse to tell me where you're located. You refuse to tell me
that is under threat, ma'am. That is under threat over a speeding ticket when you kept arguing with other people. I've been on this call patiently waiting at work. Patiently waiting. When I called because I got a reminder this morning out of town,
I'm not going to allow him to disrupt these proceedings anymore. Missy, disconnect him.
I was trying to reschedule it, so
all right, folks, let's move on.
And Your Honor, with all apologies to the court, the state would respectfully request to go back on the record in 24 TR 1376, William Phillips.
Would you want to go back on the record?
Okay. He's no. We are back on the record in 2024 TR 1376, State of Kansas versus William Wayne Phillips. That's William Wayne Phillips. Jared Regier for the state. Mr. Phillips not reappearing at this time. Mr. Regier?
Your Honor, the state's understanding is that the court did enter certain orders, including assessing a $500 fine in cash, as well as the time for the defendant to submit himself to law enforcement at 2:30 p.m. The state's understanding is also that the court had at least contemplated a due date for that fine. I believe it was 1 week from today's date is what had been contemplated. The state would respectfully request clarification if all those are the continuing orders of the court at this time.
Candidly, Mr. Regier, I am going to need to go back over that video and get those specific answers for you. I know I changed them a couple of times in light of his continuing presentation of himself and interpretation of the court. Therefore, I need to go back over them. I believe what you just said is correct, but I want to confirm the record to make sure.
If that is the case, Your Honor, the state has nothing further, and the state does apologize again for going back on the record in this particular matter.
Not at all. I totally understand and appreciate your situation. So I'll be on the record in Johnson, that is case number 2024 TR 22, State of Kansas versus Danny Johnson, County Attorney Jill Gillette for the state. Mr. Johnson appearing in person and pro se. Your name tag on your uniform says Johnson, so I presume you are Mr. Johnson. Now, sir, if you could get right in front of that microphone, thank you.
Can you hear me?
I can. Sir,
Yes.
you're charged in count 1 with speeding 82 miles per hour in a 65 mile per hour zone. That is a traffic infraction. It is not a charge that carries any jail time. It has a scheduled fine. 82 and a 65 is $87, but then there's also 108 court costs. In count 2, you're accused of operating your motor vehicle without proof of insurance. Now, if you had insurance but just couldn't find it, you can get the proof to the county attorney and she'll probably dismiss that charge. If, in fact, it had lapsed or something was happening so that you didn't have insurance on the vehicle at the time being January 4th, 2024, that is a B misdemeanor. The maximum penalties as far as jail time would be 6 months, although probation is usually granted. There is a mandatory minimum fine the court must impose of $300, but it could be as high as $1,000. You do have the right to hire any attorney of your choice. If you cannot afford an attorney, you can apply and see if you qualify for court appointed. You can waive your right to counsel and represent yourself. Another option, you might be able to apply for diversion. That is where you apply, and if the county attorney approves you for diversion, you would pay agreed upon fines, costs, get your insurance current, and pay a diversion fee, and she'd dismiss the charges and keep them off your record. If you want to talk about diversion or anything else with your attorney, you certainly will have the opportunity to do that. Your pleas, you have a choice of pleas. You can plead not guilty and we can set this for trial at a later date. You can plead guilty, admitting the charge, and we would proceed with sentencing. Or you could plead no contest, which is neither admitting nor denying the charges, but you'd still most likely be found guilty and we'd proceed to sentencing. If you want to look into diversion, we'll enter a not guilty plea to give you time to do that. You can always change your plea, but once you're convicted, pre-trial diversion is off the table. So
probably not eligible for diversion based on his driving record.
Oh, okay. Well, do you want to talk to an attorney then and discuss whether or not you have a defense? Or?
No, Your Honor, I would like to request a declaratory judgment due to there is no agreement for my performance under any agreement or commission of this court.
Well, I don't need an agreement from you, sir. So if I were...
Well, Your Honor, I simply do not understand the nature and cause of the accusation with regard to the jurisdiction of the venue and nature of this action until the prosecutor properly alleges them there, I cannot enter a plea to the charge until I have the opportunity to raise a meaningful defense on my behalf.
All right, I will then, since you cannot enter a plea today, I will enter a not guilty plea for you and give you
I
time.
object, Your Honor. I object to you entering a plea to me because I must understand the nature and cause of these accusations. So I do not agree to you entering a plea on my behalf.
Well, your position is taken and I'm still going to do it. I will note your objection for the record, but I'm going to enter a not guilty plea.
Well, I object to you entering
Your
a plea on
objection
my
is
behalf.
noted. Your objection is noted, and if the time comes, you can appeal that to the Court of Appeals. Now, on the issue
Well,
of
who is,
attorney.
Your Honor, I would like to ask, who bring these charges against me? I should have the right to
All
question.
right, we're not going to have this debate right now. I've told you your charges. I've told you the state of Kansas has filed those through its attorney, Jill Gillette. Now,
Well, I would like to call
I'm
the state to the, I would like to call the state to the stand, Your Honor.
We're not doing
The
that,
state bringing charges against me, who's it? How did I injure the state?
All right, this is your first appearance. I advise you of your rights. I advise you of your charges and possible.
Your Honor, I object to the proceeding, for I do not know the nature and cause of the
I'm
proceeding.
entering a not guilty plea. Missy, when is?
I object to you entering I object to you entering a plea on my behalf. I do not grant you that right.
Missy?
The court date,
You're supposed to act as a trustee.
Sir, you need to stop. You're being in contempt of court. You need to stop or I'll have the officer assist you in stopping. Missy?
Well, Your Honor, I would like to also bring to
September
according to
27th.
USC 12203.
Deputy Miles.
And also
could you,
Article 3, the judge must operate in good behavior. So therefore, if you're making a threat towards me, then
Deputy,
that's
if he's going to
urging
keep
me to
being
perform in your
contentious, I'm going to
court.
have you take him into custody on contempt.
Then that would be illegal search and seizures, Your Honor.
Wouldn't you need to go back?
It will.
All right,
It's
Missy.
false
I
imprisonment.
want you to stop talking or you can go upstairs to the county jail. Now, do you want to go to jail tonight?
Your Honor, again.
Deputy Miles, could you come in and assist the defendant?
September 27th at 9 o'clock will be the court date.
September 27th, you said 9 o'clock?
Yes.
9 a.m. You must be back here, sir, in person at the courthouse, or you will be arrested for failure to come to court. Now, that deputy there is going to take you into custody if you cannot control yourself through the remainder of this hearing.
I'm not doing anything. I'm just enforcing my right, Your Honor.
All right, so your first right is to have a hearing date, and that is September 27th, 9 a.m. The second
Your Honor, I also have a right to understand the nature of this. I have a right to understand the nature of the cause.
If you don't want to listen to me, you can go to jail. Do you want to hire an attorney or apply for court appointed?
No, I do not. I don't need to hire an attorney, Your Honor.
You want to represent yourself?
I don't need to hire an attorney. I would like for you as the judge, Your Honor, to explain to me the nature and cause of the.
All right, I'm not going to appoint an attorney if you don't want me to. If you want, you said you don't want to hire an attorney. If you want to apply for court appointed, the officers have forms there that you can fill out.
I just want to understand the nature and cause.
If you don't want to fill one out, I'm going to assume you don't want an attorney. And then if you come to court September 27th at 9 a.m., you're going to be representing yourself if you don't hire or apply for court appointed. And so you've got the third issue. Does he have a bond? Looks like you do because you failed to appear February 27th at your first appearance. So bench warrant was issued. Bond was set at $1,000 cash for professional surety. Looks like that was posted. Looks like you made a cash bond of $1,000. Does that sound right? You put up $1,000 cash back in July 12th?
I'm still trying to understand the nature and cause of this allegation, Your Honor.
I will continue your bond unless you get yourself hauled into jail on contempt before you leave. I will continue your bond with the condition that you reappear here in person at September 27th at 9 a.m. So you've got your court date, you've got your bond, and we've talked about your lawyer. Now, you're wearing a U.S. Army uniform with the name Johnson on it. Are you in or have you been in the United States military?
Your Honor, I'm still trying to understand the nature and cause of the allegation, Your Honor.
All right. If you can leave the courthouse now without any further disruption, I will let you do so. And I'm going to have those officers escort you to make sure you do so. So, Ms. Gillette, anything further?
Your Honor, it is your oath to explain the nature and cause of the allegation against me. Are you failing to do that?
All right. You can either walk out the front door with the officers, or you can walk upstairs to the county jail with the officers. The choice is yours. Either leave.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand.
Or leave disruptively.
I'm not being disruptive. I'm just trying to understand the nature and cause of the charge.
All right, officers. I'm gonna close.
What am I doing? I'm sitting here trying to understand the charge.
If he gives any more grief.
All I'm asking is to understand the charges. This is for the record. You said it's for the record, so I'm trying to understand what am I being charged?
The charges. Goodbye, sir.
I just want to understand the nature and cause of the charges, Your Honor. That's all I ask. It is your oath to get that.
With you. If you tell me what kind of questions you have, I'll be happy to answer them. But I've already told you.
Okay. Under what jurisdiction is these charges being brought to me under?
The state of Kansas has charged you with speeding 82 and a 65 and operating in a motor vehicle without liability insurance on January 4th, 2024 in Greenwood County, Kansas. You failed to appear for your first appearance, and a bench warrant was issued, and you were arrested, and you made a bond of $1,000 cash or surety, posting a cash bond. Now you have to go to court, and you have to answer those charges. You can
Your Honor,
have a trial if you like, and the burden will be on the state of Kansas to either prove or disprove. If they can't prove it beyond a reasonable doubt, you're let go.
Well, I'm still trying to understand under what jurisdiction am I being charged under, Your Honor? That's all I'm trying to understand.
You're being charged under the jurisdiction of the state of Kansas under its criminal.
But according to the Constitution, there are only two jurisdictions.
All right, we'll have that on a later date. We'll be at recess, officers. Please escort him one way or the other, depending on his behavior.
But I'm still not understanding what you're charging me with.
Goodbye. We are adjourned.
But if she's the judge, I'm supposed to have clear and concise of what I'm being charged with.
You give us any problems with it?
I'm not giving y'all a problem. I'm trying to.
So you have put you in handcuffs and
Well, I'm waiting on this, Your Honor, to explain.
All right, Missy.
But that's it.
That's our last case on the docket, isn't it?
This is not good.
Yes.
All right. All right. Ms. Gillette, I'll see you at 3:30 docket.
Your Honor, can I please go home? Your Honor, can I please go home? I'll leave.
All right. Well.
Can I go home?
I left it up to them, and I left it up to you, and then they were to behave accordingly.
Are you kidding me?
Oh my God.
You have got to be kidding me. What is going on today? This is a joke. This is a joke. Today is an absolute joke. He needs an interpreter.
I need an interpreter when I cannot express myself sometimes.
Joke. Oh my God, sir. Put that cigarette out. I don't give a crap that you are outside of this. What is wrong with everybody today? You know what, Miss Reed? We're going to start bringing people in person. People going to learn how to act in a courtroom.
Can you hear it? Can you hear it? Ma'am? Ma'am? Can you hear it?
No.
Okay.
I have no patience for that. And trust me, out of the day, I'm sitting up here, I'm the one that needs a drink.